Public sector budget making process. Administrative Department. This is a self-contained administrative unit in the federal and provincial government responsible for the conduct of business in a distinct and specified sphere, and declared as such under the rules of business by the government. Budget. An allocation of funds to a spending entity on the basis of authenticated schedule of authorized expenditure. Public sector terminologies. Technical sanction. Sanction of the competent authority to a properly detailed estimate of the cost of a work of construction or repair. Entity. Element enables reporting of transactions by the organizational structure, or in other words the organizational unit, which is creating the transaction. There are a number of sub-elements contained in the entity element. Public sector terminologies. Cont. Excess grant. Relating to a financial year means a sum granted, or deemed to have been granted by the Provincial Assembly, to meet the expenditure which, after the close of that year, was found, through the appropriation accounts, to have been incurred in excess of the authorized expenditure of that year, under a grant. Schedule of authorized expenditure means the schedule prepared, following consideration by the Provincial Assembly, of the annual budget or supplementary budget or excess budget statement in respect of a financial year, and authenticated by the Chief Minister by his signatures, under Article 123 of the Constitution. Public sector terminologies. Cont. Token grant. In a financial year means a nominal amount included in the schedule of authorized expenditure relating to a supplementary budget statement of that year for a new purpose, the expenditure on which is proposed to be met, savings within the grant, by reappropriation. Voted expenditure means such expenditure as is submitted to the vote of the Provincial Assembly, with reference to Article 122(2) of the Constitution. Public sector terminologies. Cont. Administrative approval. Accorded for the total approval cost of scheme. Sanction to the creation or continuation of the post, contingencies which is issued on year-to-year basis. Schedule of new expenditure (SNE). Expenditure sanctioned on an activity on temporary basis. Expenditure included in the schedule of authorized expenditure or supplementary schedule of authorized expenditure in a financial year. Public sector terminologies. Cont. Budget tiers. National Finance Commission Award (NFC). This is a 5-year award decided by the Council of Common Interest and approved by the Prime Minister as the head of KI. Provincial Finance Commission Award (PFC). Similar to National Finance Commission Awards, they are provincial-based and distribute resources for provincial priorities and then districts. Criteria for sharing, 7th NFC Award. Province-wise share under NFC Award. Criteria for sharing PFC Award. Budget cycle. Authorization. Utilization. Releases. Distribution. Reporting and monitoring. Budget calendar, provincial, current. Para 3.19 of Budget Manual, Appendix C. Budget calendar, provincial, development. Para 3.19 of Budget Manual, Appendix C. Charged. Expenditure. Receipts. Revenue. Expenditure. Charged. Expenditure. Voted. Expenditure. Consolidated fund. Expenditure. Capital. Expenditure. Voted. Expenditure. Provincial. Retained. PFC Award. / Provincial. Allocable. Amount. Current. Development. Capital. Grants. 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 NFC Award. Provincial Own Receipt. District Government. TMS. Use. How is the budget reflected in the accounts system? Auditor General of Pakistan is responsible to prescribe the form and manner of keeping the accounts of the Federation and provinces. Auditor General had earlier prescribed a chart of accounts go introduced under new accounting model name to record the accounting entries. The budget allocated and expended is released and recorded against these covers. Sanction of Expenditure. A sanction of expenditure, either administrative approval, audit copy, and supplementary grant etc., would have the following: Fund/grant no. Fund Center/though code. Function classifications. Object classifications. Cost Center/profit center. Sanction expenditure reads like, Finance Department agrees to sanction and release a sum of Rs. in anticipation of the provision of through supplementary grant during current financial year 2009-10, for purpose with grant, function and object, against an equivalent surrender, federal receipt, or net supplementary grant. We will now go on to the development budget cycle.